Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the Valkyrie Method podcast, episode 18. Um, a podcast about life, health, nutrition, training, balancing it all together when you're a hormonally challenged woman over 40, generally, and anyone else that's interested. Thank you for listening. If you are listening, and it'd be great if you recommended it to your friends. If you like my waffle, I am Hannah. For those of you that don't know me, but even though most of you probably do. And yeah, I'm just doing this for clients and for friends and for people who are interested in my waffles and coaching and training and just some real life advice, really, to just get you through. Anyhow, it is Easter weekend. I am doing this, and I probably timed it a bit badly, actually. But of course, I am forever disorganized, and I kind of took on a bit of a new coaching role this week. So it's kind of bombarded me with trying to learn different apps as well as checking that my coaching and checking pointers are like in value with the coaching group that I'm working with. But yeah, no, so it's going well. It's good. But yes, dealing with Easter weekend. So I'm hoping if you do listen to this, it might be Easter Sunday. So to prepare you for that. But at the same time, they're just good tips for the weekend because I struggle so badly now with the weekends. It's really become noticeable since doing the fat loss diaries, actually. And I think it's just a combination of just so many ingrained bad habits have just been like, oh, thank God the week's over. Even though my days are pretty much the same. Yes, I'm not as busy work wise on Saturdays and Sundays. And I do feel tired, but I mean, I think because you're not as busy, then you just sort of, yeah, you notice more, don't you? And I'm kind of used to just being preoccupied all the time rather than just sitting and chilling. I'm sort of up, down, up, down. So definitely need to work on my relaxing skills much better. Anyhow, dealing with Easter weekend or dealing with weekends when you know that you're going to overindulge because it's life, we're human. And if you don't do it, and I don't mean overindulge, I mean just indulge, then you're going to go mental and overindulge or binge and get into a whole binge restrict cycle again. And we just want to avoid that because fucking hell, we are over 40 pretty much. And we've been there and done that and sick of feeling like that or thinking like that. I mean, it's just a head jar. Anyway, so my guidelines and advice for you is I did a post, but you can track or you don't have to track. And I totally get not tracking because it's good to have a break from it. And even though eyeballing isn't very accurate, I mean, tracking isn't like 100% accurate, is it? But if you want to track, great, do it because you just want to be more mindful about it. But if you don't want to track, don't track and also be more mindful about it. I personally just sort of track anyway. I'm so used to doing it. But have some sort of structure. My first bit, have some sort of structure like you would do for the rest of the week. And pretty much now my days are pretty much the same. I always have the same breakfast and lunch, really. So always have that structure. It just makes decision fatigue so much easier. Then you can make allowances for if you are going out and things like that. So having the structure, doing the tracking or not doing the tracking, but just having a bit of a plan is your first bit of advice. Second bit is make swaps, which is kind of smart. So if you know you're going to go out for dinner, or you know you're going to have a big dinner, or you know you're going to have a roast lunch, then have a higher protein breakfast or lunch. Maybe try and drop calories a little bit and make allowances for you to have that dinner and enjoy it as well. But also allow yourself maybe to have more calories if you're tracking, because if you've been fairly sensible throughout the week, then it's going to just maintain anyway. That's it's really hard because I feel like some people would be like, oh, it's so crap. Oh, why do I have to do that? But do you know why we do that? Do you know why it's? I feel like it is actually quite important, and I'm getting to grips with it more. Is because it's just makes you feel better. That's it, isn't it? Making you feel better, and yeah. So in those circumstances as well, my tip three would be just to try and move a bit more. Try and get your steps in. Try and do maybe a little, if you can train in the morning, great. If you can do some sort of exercise, great, but just get your steps in. Being active really helps. And if you're in a position where you can go for a walk after a big dinner or something like that, then do that. That really helps as well. So that's my third tip for that. And then I guess the fourth one is just remember what your goals are. Like it's about how you feel. And long term goals definitely outweigh short lived gratification. And I know it's really hard in the moment. I've spoken about this today. It's really hard in that moment because you're just really enjoying it. But I guarantee, because I've done it, that like the first couple of bites of chocolate or first couple of pieces of chocolate or whatever are great. But then actually after that, it's just a bit gluttonous, isn't it? Because it can start to make you feel a bit sicky and you just don't enjoy it as much as those first couple of bites. In a way, might not be true for everyone. So, it's never going to be always true, is it? But yeah, that's my personal experience with all that. So they're my top tips for an indulgent weekend or the Easter weekend. But yeah, just think about how you feel because it does, yeah, you just want to feel better in yourself. And there's nothing wrong in that. There's nothing wrong with saying to someone, "Oh no, sorry, I don't want a bit of that," or "I don't fancy that." There really isn't. And it's frustrating that it's taken this long to figure it out sometimes. But yeah, that's my top tips for that. So that moves me nicely along to my fat loss diaries, which are going okay. Sorry about the noise in the background, by the way. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but my child seems to be singing rather loudly. And there's only so much peace and quiet I can get. But yeah, so the fat loss diaries, I think I'm on like day 20 now, and the weight loss hasn't been like massive. I guess in a way I would have hoped to have maybe lost a little bit more, not like loads, but maybe be a kilo down. But at the same time, I have struggled to stay at this sort of weight because it's been very much fluctuating 1 or 2 kilos. So staying here is actually really nice. And it's quite good because I have been having a bit of chocolate. I had a pint of Guinness last night. I never really drunk Guinness and always been a bit like, oh, quite enjoyed it. Felt quite good. So, yeah, but it's actually made me realize as well that I've probably been saying for so long, oh, I want to lose 10 kilos. Or now it's more like, oh, I want to lose 5 kilos. But I think I feel much more comfortable in my body, much happier in my body. Yes, I guess, again, I would like to lose, but it's not like desperate. So I don't feel too bad. I feel strong. I feel fit. Um, I feel like to lose the weight would benefit me, definitely. Maybe in my running and stuff anyway, but just because I feel a bit more comfortable in my body, it's not so much of a big thing. So maybe that's a reason why it's going to take a little bit longer. I don't know. It's a psychological thing, isn't it? But I mean, I'm definitely more mindful of the snacking, so it's definitely making a difference. My and I've had to deal with various life things like we all do, so there's never a good time. But that's definitely made me more aware. Like I've had issues with the dog. My back's been really bad. Like I've not been able to run at all. I've done a little bit on the treadmill, but it's just like, oh, I shouldn't really be doing this. So yeah, so there's never a good time, is there? But I'm just proving that the coaching is good. Like being consistent means that I'm maintaining and going lower and not, going higher. And also, hopefully, it's showing you by doing the weighing in every day how much it does fluctuate due to different things. Like, for example, yesterday, I didn't think I went over my calories from what I worked out, but having more carbs, more salt in the foods I ate last night, I think I probably put on like 200 grams. But I guarantee, like, if I'm back to normal eating today, which I pretty much am, it will probably go back down again. But yeah, so I think it's interesting, but we do it for you because as a coach, my clients don't want to be worrying about that all the time. They want to be told, and that's what we do. So that's partly one of the reasons. So yeah, so that's sort of the update on the fat loss diaries. In regards to some of the posts and things that I think are relatable and relevant at the moment, all the noise on Instagram about you've got to do this, you're fat because of this and just all that shit. But one thing, the it's really frustrating that people find influencers are great, celebrities are great, but when people would just put out a snippet of information and suddenly like you lose all reasoning, and it's like, yeah, lifting heavy, yes, lifting heavy is great, it's amazing for changing shape, for feeling better, for feeling empowered, but you can't just go from not doing weights to then lifting really heavy. There's no, you would never ever do that, would you? And a coach should never ever teach you that. You gradually build up because your progression is going to be different to my progression, and everyone has to start somewhere. So that's what that's like. I would get a client to be probably starting body weight, doing 2 or 3 sets of 10 reps, and then gradually you'd give them away. And then you start progressing to heavier weights, and then you start changing the rep ranges around as their techniques are on point and they're getting stronger because you're loading up the joints and all that. And that's how you the progression, whatever weights you're doing, as long as you feel like in the last couple of reps that you're pushing to failure or you're really struggling, that's how you make changes. That's how the progression. And then you have to rest and recover for the muscles to build. And it's just the process. You just can't go into, because if you're not going to make any process, if you just go to lifting heavy, you're just going to injure yourself and then you're not going to be able to do anything, are you? So, yeah. So that was one of my things that I was picking up on this week. And also the whole thing about it's really sad. The summer approaching, and I will try and do a post about this. And I did a bit of a rant, but it just makes me so sad. And this is half the reason I do what I do. That's so many women just hate the way they look. And I'm there, I'm with you, I get it. I've been training women and guys for over 20 years, and I'm there as well. I've felt like an imposter because I've hated the way I look. And it's only literally been more recently where I'm seeing the training that works properly and and I feel comfortable in myself. And that's probably just a combination of being over 40, um, training better, feeling better, um, looking better, that I'm there. But it's just so sad because you get people of all shapes and sizes and they have their thing. And I could be with a client who has got really slim, I mean, if we're going to put numbers there, like a size 8, which is tiny really, figure, trains all the time, but hates a part of the way they look. And you're just like, oh, none of us appreciate it. And again, it'd be really nice to get, why has it taken this long to start realizing and appreciating what our bodies do? And like, I'm fitter and stronger. So it just makes me sad that it's like it's almost wrong to be happy in yourself. It's almost wrong to be, because it could be taken as arrogance rather than being confident. And that's kind of how I felt and been brought up in a way, I suppose, just through society. And also you're being sold stuff all the time because it's like, well, no, actually you've got a belly because you've got cortisol and metabolic dysfunction and this and that. So you need to take this. Not like, oh no, you look great. Don't need to take anything. It's mental. That's the way of the world, isn't it? But if I could start empowering women, which is part of the coaching really, to feel better. And yeah, guys as well. Guys need of course they do. Like they have their own hormonal challenges as they get older. Plus the fact they're probably dealing with a female with hormonal challenges. And yeah, so no one actually cares though, do they? No one cares what you look like because they're too busy worrying about what they look like. And like I have a real thing about my legs. Even when I had my, dare I say, it, like anorexic phase at school when I was younger, again, it seemed to be like a thing. I still hated my legs because I didn't like the shape of them. And even now, if they're a bit slimmer, I still don't like the shape of them. So I rarely get them out. But then my daughter's always like, Mommy, why don't you get your legs out? It's really hot. And you're kind of like, shit. Like, no one cares that because they're too busy worrying about them. And she doesn't care because she's like, oh, yeah, I like your shorts. It's mental. And I don't want her to have the same um, insecurities that I've had. And again, that's what we've got to teach. So, yeah. So that's my long winded version, of course, of saying about it's small steps again. It's not just going to be like go out there and wear the shorts, even though I have done that before as well. And it has been a campaign, hasn't it, for Sweaty Betty or whatever. But gradually build. It's like wearing a bikini or wearing a swimming costume on a summer holiday. It's like we have such high expectations of ourselves. But then you'll see loads of other women, again, all shapes and sizes, who just will do it. Maybe they have their insecurities, but they're just faking it till they make it. So maybe that's a way to do it as well. But it's a build up. Like just wear shorts around the house. I think I did it last year. I will try and get that again this year. But yeah. Um, so yeah. So with that, with regards to coaching, I am going to be launching the Valkyrie method again. Uh, Monday week. The Valkyrie method is relaunching on the 13th of April. I am uh, doing another 6 week program. I'd love to have you on board. It's for women generally over 40 who are exhausted with all the ideas, all the programs, all the noise, and starting every Monday. This is just some support, some structure, just yeah, just to help with strength, and who are women who are blaming their hormones for everything or been told they've got to blame their hormones for everything, and they feel like they have no willpower and they're just fed up of trying to shrink themselves. This is for you because we will support you and we will give you a structure of program and nutrition and guidelines and WhatsApp support. And honestly, message me on my Instagram, Hannah underscore Valkyrie PT, and we'll get going. It's been good. I've had like a few clients who are happy and probably going to continue on as well because it's really just a starting point to setting you up for life and for good training and all that. And just yeah. So yeah. Um Brilliant. Sorry for the interruption. Keeping it real. Sorry for swearing. I really appreciate it when my kids are told about stuff. But yeah, anyhow, that is it for me today. So have a fantastic weekend for Easter Sunday. If you're listening to this on Easter Sunday morning or whenever you listen to this, have a fantastic weekend or weekday or whatever. And I really hope that you will continue to follow, give me feedback, anything that you want me to talk about, please. That's what I'm here for. And yeah, have a good one. Bye.